What's going on, guys? So as I was working on some videos, news dropped that the Flashpoint movie has found its directors finally in Jonathan Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. Now, these guys have made movies like Vacation and their upcoming movie called Game Night with Jason Bateman. Now, they are comedy directors, which we all kind of already knew that the Flash movies would more than likely be more comedic than, you know, Batman, Superman, all of the others, because it's kind of just a Flash's character. Although I don't think a Flashpoint movie should really be comedic, because it's pretty dramatic in story. Like, if you've ever read it or if you've ever seen Flashpoint Paradox, you know that the Flashpoint storyline is pretty crazy. Like, I mean, Flash goes back in time to save his mom, ends up changing the whole timeline, and then you have no longer Bruce Wayne Batman, it's Thomas Wayne Batman, because Bruce died when he was a younger kid. He died in the alleyway instead of his parents, is what I should say. And then you have a Superman that has been held in captivity since he made it onto Earth, and he's never seen the light of day. And you also have a war brewing between the Amazons and the Atlanteans. The damn story of Flashpoint is anything but funny. So finding out that comedic directors are taking over can be kind of worrisome, but I will say that if you were a fan of Spider-Man Homecoming, these are the same guys that wrote that movie. Now, I will be the first to tell you that I wasn't a big fan of Spider-Man Homecoming. I mean, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I thought the movie was solid. I thought it was directed very well. But you guys know, I'm just kind of tired of the superhero comedy movies, because I feel like you watch them once and then that's kind of it. Like, the jokes don't hit anymore, and I'm just kind of tired of the jokes every 15 minutes kind of mentality, and I just want a solid story. You can have funny moments here and there, but I just want a solid, good story, and specifically with Flashpoint. Flashpoint is one of my favorite all-time DC stories, and I don't want to see it become Justice League, where there's just characters that don't need to be funny trying to be funny. That would be the biggest thing that worries me about two comedic directors taking on a storyline that I think should be pretty serious. But I will say that I am holding out hope that maybe this movie will turn into a solo Flash movie instead of being Flashpoint, and let me go ahead and tell you why I think that. For one, we have a new DC president in Walter Hamada, who could be coming in here and being like, look, Flashpoint's a bad idea, let's not do that, we need to develop this character that is the Flash, let's make this a solo Flash movie instead of this big, huge story. Secondly, there is a rumor out right now that I'm not going to go in depth about, because I'm going to cover it in my rumor mail video, but the rumor is that Ben Affleck's Batman might actually do his last movie in Suicide Squad 2 instead of the Flashpoint movie, meaning what I've always thought was the Flashpoint movie was being pushed forward so much just so they can correct their Ben Affleck Batman problem. But if you don't have to worry about that problem anymore because you're gonna solve it in, you know, freaking Suicide Squad 2, then Flashpoint isn't really necessary. You're just kind of making it to make it, but you don't need that to happen anymore. So I'm kind of hoping that they will just nix the whole thing, fix the Batman problem prior to Flashpoint, and be like, yo, let's just make a Flash solo movie. If that were to happen, I would be totally fine with jokes, because I don't have a problem with comedy, and I do think that certain characters are supposed to be funny, the Flash being one of them. I mean, they can tone it down a little bit, because I do kind of want to see a serious Flash at some points too, but I do think that comedy needs to be in movies, but you need to do it with, like, kind of like the way Wonder Woman did it. You know, they had a comedy relief character, which was like Etna Candy and stuff like that. I think they need to bring back the classic comic relief characters instead of just everybody's funny, because I don't want to see a jokey, funny Batman ever again, unless it's dry humor, because that's what Batman does. Tells his jokes super serious, and that's just kind of how you're supposed to laugh at them, which I think is perfect for his character. I don't want everybody to try to be funny in these movies, a la Marvel. A couple things I want to point out about this Variety article that is talking about these new Flash directors is, one, they do note that this is negotiations for the movie. If we know anything about the past when it comes to WB and DC films, is that negotiations break apart. We had it happen with Matt Reeves. Luckily, he came back and he is going to direct the Batman movie, but he did leave during negotiations at one point. So this isn't set in stone, but it does seem pretty good when big outlets are starting to report on it. But probably the biggest tidbit of this is that apparently Flashpoint was offered to Ben Affleck, which was insane because he's come out and said he would still like to direct a Batman film if the script was right. And then apparently WB being so sour on him about the Batman character, they're still interested in his directing ability. But apparently he turned down the Flashpoint movie. You can look at that two ways. You can look at it as in like, oh, WB's still pretty cool with Ben Affleck. Maybe he's going to stay on as Batman. Or you can think about it as Ben Affleck is just done with DC movies. He's like, doesn't want to work on these anymore. He kind of just wants to get away from them like he wants to get rid of Batman. I don't know. I'm going to be covering or talking about that more in my rumor mail video, so definitely check out that when it comes out. But, yeah, guys, I do want to know what you guys think about this rumor, or not, this isn't a rumor, this report that Flashpoint finally has its directors. As I said at the start of the video, guys, I am working on new content, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of that. Let me know if you like this video in the comment sections down below or by giving it a thumbs up. And as always, I am your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I made a little juice? See you guys next time. Bye!